Hello everyone and welcome to another day of Payday 3 and Starbreeze news for the game servers, all sorts of quality of life changes and everything happening with Payday 3. We've got server downtime as well as a full 1 hour stream again today between Almir and this time senior game designer Mio to reveal a whole bunch of details about what's coming for Payday 3 once the servers are under control. There's a whole heap of news to talk about, but I first off have to very quickly thank everybody who watched yesterday's video. Quite literally, without being dramatic, it was the biggest video I've ever put out in the first 24 hours. 60k views is absolutely insane, and I cannot thank you all enough for that. So thank you to everyone who checked that video out. And if you do enjoy this video, please feel free to click that subscribe button, stay up to date with all future Payday 3 news. I'd really appreciate it. So let's talk first off about the server downtime, which is what I want to focus on to lead this video because there's not much to say, which is that they're going to do 2 periods of downtime. One has already happened in an attempt to try and make sure the servers are a bit more stable by the time the next weekend comes around. They're both at the same time window, which is between 8 AM and 11 AM Swedish time, Central European Summer Time. If you want other time zones, you can see them here. So BST being the UK, we've got that there, which is between 7 AM and 10 AM, and you can see a few other time zones there. But those are the time zones for Tuesday and Friday for server maintenance, 3-hour time periods that you need to keep an eye out. The game will be completely down. It won't just be matchmaking issues. You literally won't be able to get in at all. There's nothing you'll be able to do. Now, the first one has happened 3 hours this morning for people in the UK, overnight for people in America. And so far, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves or jinx it, so I'm crossing my fingers to say it. I've not noticed much issue with server instability, and I put out a tweet asking people, and the general consensus is it seems to be working quite well. We aren't quite at peak time, though. Normally when the Americans wake up and it's more like 6, 7, 8 p.m. UK time, that's when it starts to get worse. I will be live on Twitch, as per usual, tonight at 7 p.m. UK time, so by the time this video goes up within the next hour or so, and we'll play the game and see if the servers are okay. So please do tune into the stream, hang out, and we'll see. Maybe they'll be working. I don't know. But that's the server news for today. I want to look at day 2, and I have to give a flashback warning this time, because I didn't last time. Flashback, flashbang, because it's a white page. So 3, 2, 1, boom, there it is. So I have got 2 pages, as I said, of notes to go through here. Some small things, some big things. So I'm going to read through all of it, carry through all the news from the stream today, and let you know everything you needed to know, because I took notes for all relevant parts. I didn't take down notes for every time that Almir was asked about Jacket, and every time he read that comment out, because if I did, there would be 5 pages of notes. Honestly, it's really petty, but I really wish to just focus on the important questions rather than reading the same things out over and over again. But that's just me being petty. I want the news. It's all I'm bothered about. So, as I said, in today's stream, we had Almir and senior game designer Mio. Not sure why I put his name in capitals, but he noted that he's worked on AI, enemy combat, difficulty, bits of stealth and progression too. So he's got a more broad view. He doesn't know everything. Obviously, no single developer knows everything, but he had a good broad view to offer with a lot of topics. So first off, they opened with more info on the transporter skill line. If you missed it yesterday, Andreas teased it was a skill line coming in the second update at the end of October, and he teased simply be able to carry 2 bags at once with one of the skills. Mio, however, went into a lot more detail. You can move bags and bodies faster. There's the option to carry 2 bags at once, as well as carry 2 deployables with a slight penalty, a la Jack of all trades in Payday 2. He also said you'll be able to carry bodies more efficiently and forego penalties, I think with regards to speed, so we'll see some of these in more depth when the skill line gets added. But I have to say, even though obviously the server issues are more important, I am tentatively excited for this. This is going to be a really cool skill tree, and I'm going to be intrigued to see how builds adapt from it when this gets added. They also mentioned Twitch drops will be happening at some point. No ETA yet, but people keep coming up in my Twitch chat asking about it, so there you go. There will be drops at some point. Thankfully, some free content, hopefully suits. We need them in the game. There's not enough suits in the game, I've said that before. Progression system also got quite a bit of focus from Mio, because that's been a hot topic for a lot of people. A lot of people in my comment section of my Twitch chat are noting that they don't like using challenges to progress your character. So he went in a bit of detail. He said that feedback is evaluated first off in 3 different ways. First off, it's community feedback, so feedback from content creators, hopefully videos like mine. Also, things from Reddit, Steam forums, Twitter, all that stuff, stream chats. So they take in feedback from everybody in the community. They also look at analytics, so in their back end, what weapons are used most, what heists are completed most, what enemies provide the most challenge, that kind of thing. And then also their own internal expertise, because obviously they're going to have a good idea what works and what doesn't, but obviously they need to combine that with community and analytics to come up with a good vision. So he kind of explained that was how they analyze future changes, which I think is quite good. It's interesting to know, at least for me personally. But then he goes into challenges specifically. Completing specific things, as a lot of you will know by now, gives you infamy points, and the idea that he said was it was designed to encourage you to try different weapons, playstyles, and difficulties, and the more varied of playstyles you tried, the higher level you'd get. So someone joining with level 80 or level 90 to their name would be like, they've done a lot in this game. So I understand the logic. as I said, I'm very on the fence about it. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's just kind of there for me personally, so it's whatever. But they have seen feedback regarding advancing and wanting to clean up some things that aren't working, and they've noted that server issues have made challenges not unlock when they should, and that is a priority. I've got quite a few challenges in my challenge page that say I've done 1 out of 1 or whatever the progress will be, but it's not completed and I haven't received the infamy points. So it seems that's a common bug and it will be addressed. They're also going to look at completion rate for certain challenges to help guide them. So maybe looking at how many challenges are actually completed, how many don't get done, and then try and adjust things based on that. And he's also said they will consider infamy points for just completing heists. It's not out of the question. So basically allowing you to level up just by playing heists. That would be good. Even if you only give us a few infamy points, I think that would help a lot. You've got to also be careful you don't go too far, because then if they go too far to the end, you'll hit max level too fast. And as you'll see later, they don't really want to add a prestige system right now, so you need to make sure it's balanced, and I understand that. He does, however, know that the challenges are definitely more loud-heavy, and they do want to amend that. He said they expected loud players to try stealth and vice versa, and I've put a there as my own comment because realistically, without being rude, I feel like they should have expected people were not going to want to do that. There are a lot of people that love just playing loud and a lot of people who just love playing stealth. But you know what? For putting everything behind us, not to cut my nose off to spot my face, they clearly have realised that themselves as well. And they're trying to consider that for the future, because there are a lot of people who just want to play stealth and a lot of people who just want to do the opposite. So locking some challenges one way or the other, I do think is unfair. And it seems that they'll hopefully address it to make progression easier for whatever you want to do. So fingers crossed. That sounds good. Also, offline mode, it's mentioned again, but very briefly, because Almir just acknowledges that it isn't confirmed yet, but it's still on the table. I note yet because normally it just says, we haven't confirmed this is happening. He said yet, which maybe suggests there's a bit more permanence to it actually happening. We'll see. Challenge organisation and layout also needs more attention and quality of life changes. It's something that they're prioritising, but ETA is unknown. In other words, a lot of the challenges are very jumbled up. You don't get to see all the heists focused on Golden Shark, all the challenges for them, then all the challenges for Touch the Sky. It's all very jumbled and mismatched, and they do want to improve that. They also spent a lot of time at different points today talking about the post-game screen, so the results screen. It's something that came up a lot in discussion. So they want to show things like how many people revived each other, how many kills you got, that kind of thing. They've identified that the results screen is not as satisfying. People said, why can't I see challenges I've partially done? The top thing I can think off the top of my head is Star Wars Battlefront 2. When you finish that game, it will show you in a match that you've done progress towards a selection of 6 challenges, so you can see where you're going, basically. So something like that would be great for Payday 3, and they've said they're looking into that as well. So the results screen is going to get a lot of love in coming updates. Also, Mio is aware that armor is much more important than health currently, and that players don't have enough sources of armor. So you've got smaller sources like first aid kits and ammo packs in security rooms for health and ammo, but there isn't a smaller version of armor that isn't the armor bag, and he's aware of that, and they do want to try and add that in later. He's noted that armor is not going to be nerfed. It is very much the meta right now. They don't want to nerf it. What they want to do is instead make health more valuable. Because let's face it, once you've lost your armor, you're pretty much up for public execution, so they do want to amend that at some point, so that's good. He's also noted heist favors. This is something I've been asked a lot about in my Twitch chat. What's going on with heist favors? How do they work? You earn specific favors for a heist on a chance rate after completing a particular heist. So if you finish No Rest for the Wicked, there is a chance, number not specified, but there is a chance that you'll get a favor for a different heist. It doesn't show you in the results screen. You'll only know when you go into that heist's lobby, but they're going to improve that and make it clearer to you down the line. So good. Also, they noticed about quick melee not doing damage, that people wanting melee weapons, they're not prioritising it, but if enough people ask, they will consider it. New weapons are also going to be coming, and new enemies might be down the line. They said they're not confirmed, but Almir did make a point of the fact that Payday 2 did see new enemies added post-launch, so that could also be done. Also, that they're waiting for more time to pass and also for more player data, hence the analytics section I mentioned earlier, to see what the consensus is towards enemy strength and power, because Mio noted they've had complaints in particular about dozers being too strong and cloakers being a bit too subtle and stealthy at times and catching people off guard a bit too often. For me personally, he said that people feel very differently. I think the enemies are fairly well balanced. Bulldozers are actually intimidating and a real challenge, which I like, and cloakers, I kill more cloakers than they kill me, so I feel like, you know, I'm pretty good at dealing with them, but maybe that's just because I've got more experience playing Payday games and newer players haven't. I would really be interested to know your thoughts in the comments on that one in particular. Do you think the enemies are too overpowered? Let me know. But they have said that we'll look over time, see what the general consensus is, and go from there, so you can't say fairer than that. On top of that, boss enemies are not something they're considering right now. good, realistically. They say the dozers fill that role in a way for now, but they don't want boss fights to feel like a chore. All you have to do is think of the Mountain Master heist to get that one answered in Payday 2. That was ridiculous, but whatever. Also, additional features could be added post-launch, so improved animations, extra things like that. They mentioned that just on the fly, but wasn't super relevant. Jokers. Now, here's a couple of hot topics with Jokers, dodge, and bots. Like I said, they went through a lot of key things here. They're not looking at putting Jokers into the game right now, so converting cops to fight for you a la Payday 2. It's not something they'll never go back on, so with enough feedback they could, like a lot of other things, but for now they've got no plans for the skill to come back. If I can put my own personal opinion in there, good. Payday 3 feels far more like a Hollywood realism type game. It's not quite as goofy. The idea that a cop would just be like, oh, I'll kill everyone for you now, even though I was trying to arrest you, it felt a bit of a stretch in Payday 2, so I will not complain if that never comes back in 3. But again, leave me your opinions. If you think I'm wrong, do tell me. I'd be interested to know what you think. On top, they talked about dodge because a lot of people have said they miss dodge, and they've noted that combat is more attrition-based. You take a lot more damage to die now than you did in Payday 2, so it's a lot more about the gunfire and not what you get hit by and what you don't. Dodge could be hard to balance with the new system as a result, and notes that smoke grenades already kind of fill the dodge role because they do reduce cop accuracy. You get hit less within the smoke grenades, kind of like the Sicario perk deck in Payday 2, so maybe they will address that down the line, but for now, dodge is not a priority. On top of that, they also want feedback with regards to bots. They think the bots were alright. They know that the general sentiment is they're not very useful on very hard and overkill, and they're wondering about, is it a priority? They're saying basically right now they need to prioritize certain things. They don't think the bots is a priority, and they're saying it's down to an issue of, if it's worth prioritizing, tell us and we'll look at it. So they think that the bots serve a relatively fine purpose. For me personally, I've said before, I think for solo play, bots need to be able to revive each other, and the health is also very, very low on the higher difficulties. I think that should probably be looked at, but if not everyone feels that way, they'll focus on other stuff, and there is a lot of stuff to deal with, so it's all about what is most important right now. They also want to focus on skill lines and expanding them rather than adding extra things like perk decks. Good, because it felt like the skill system was very much combining those two anyway now in Payday 3, so why add extra things to the mix other than extra lines? Wouldn't make much sense to me. They also noticed that C-stacks could be used down the line to purchase high-specific favours. They were asked about it, and they went, well, really, we want to make sure C-stacks are always used for what's appropriate. Cosmetics and slots and final mods for guns right now, and every time they look at other things, they'll have to judge, is it worthwhile using C-stacks for that? Also, another hot take, RNG staying the same upon restart. So if you restart a bank heist, the vault code staying the same, that kind of thing. They've noted that a lot of people have been complaining about that, especially veteran players, whereas new players, who did literally pop up in the Twitch chat while he was making this point, saying that they like it because it allows them to get used to their mistakes, adapt, and build. Mio is saying the middle ground right now they might do is remove the RNG fixes on higher difficulties, so say on very hard overkill, when you restart, things will change again, but they're looking into that down the line, so that could be a hot point of conversation when that gets changed. Also, the amount of skill points could be changed down the line, but they don't really know if they need to, because 15 points right now is enough for a good, well-rounded build, and you can get a max of 21 if you level 100, so probably not necessary. Going back to progression, they also said the infamy system is probably not going to be added right now, like a prestige system, because they want to focus on people getting the progression that they've got, soft cap of 100, hard cap of 150, and they have said they're going to probably expand that as the game goes on, increasing those caps, a bit like Destiny or something, so maybe they won't need a prestige system. We'll see. Now, here's a hot topic, and this is one that I really want to put a point onto. They have said that they have plans to add more difficulties down the line, not difficulty. When I was in Sweden, we talked about this a little bit, and they said they might add a difficulty down the line if it was felt necessary. Here, it sounded like they were open to adding more than one. And they said they want to continue to make the game challenging as more people get confident with the game, so adding new challenges, that's fair. And they also want to make sure that the difficulties are meaningful. And Almir said in particular he realised Payday 2 had a lot of difficulties, and to a lot of players, they pick one and stick with it. So they don't want that to happen again with 3. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the way to avoid that is just making sure there aren't too many. There are 4 difficulties right now. If we start going towards 6 or 7, then we're really pushing it. If it were me, I'd suggest adding one much more challenging difficulty in down the line in a few months, a year's time, to really make it more challenging. But beyond that, I don't know. What do you guys think? Please do tell me. They were also asked about compensation for server issues, and all Almir did was talk about things that were already coming. It might be he misread the question, to be honest, because it was kind of like, will it be compensation? He was like, we'll prove ourselves with future updates down the line. So I don't know. Maybe they are going to compensate people for server issues. I think there should be something there, but as I've said already, let's wait till the servers are fixed. But he just reinforced there will be cool updates and DLC coming down the line that will prove they're committed to the game, so fair enough. Also, Jukebox will be evaluated for Payday 3, as they've said before, and also as time passes, more ways to play with your loadout will probably be expected, so things like explosive weapons, etc. And I'll skip a line here because that links to this one here. They were asked if a minigun or flamethrower would be added to the game, and Mio chose to respond by saying new overkill weapons are coming. No one mentioned overkill weapons in the question, he just brought that up, which to me suggests that they're already considering both or one of those things as an overkill weapon. And as far as I'm concerned, it seems like special weapons would fit the overkill weapon style more in Payday 3, So seeing both those get added would be really cool. I'd love like a Death Machine Call of Duty style power-up, overkill weapon for the minigun. That could be cool, but I guess we'll see. Classic heists were mentioned once again, but again, Almir said nothing confirmed so far, which to me suggests that it's more likely than the other things they've said are not confirmed. A couple more points to finish off on. Why is there no Payday card drop post-heist? Mio said that was intentional because they don't want the rewards to be RNG focused. They want you to choose what you earn, and that's why that's not at the end of the game. You could still have that in, a bit of extra cash, a bit of extra C-stacks, like as long as it's not cosmetic things, you could still have that desire and still give players an extra bit for finishing the heist. So I think there's definitely a middle ground you could achieve there. Also, they're looking at a random heist selector a la quick play for quality of life change, as we know. Same with vote to kick. Possibly a skill line for silent footsteps in secure areas. They were asked about that specifically as a stealth skill, and Mio said maybe it could be added and bundled in with an already existing skill. He said in particular the CQC specialist line has a lot of skills where it offers 2 things, so maybe they could slip that in as an add-on for a particular skill in another stealth tree. Maybe. And then finally, the last thing they mentioned of importance was XP bonuses for stealth. As a lot of you know who've played Payday 2, if you beat a heist in stealth, you gain an XP bonus that applies to the next heist. So someone said, why is there nothing like that in Payday 3? Mio said, there is. There is a stealth bonus to both your payout and the weapon XP or skill XP if you're still unlocking skills that you get at the end of a heist. The problem is the game isn't telling you that. You actually get a stealth bonus based on how much of the heist you beat in stealth. So if you beat half of it, you get half the boost. If you beat the whole heist, you get the full boost, so on and so forth. And that will apply to how much you complete in stealth and therefore give you more XP towards your weapon, more skill XP, and also an increased payout. The amount of which was not specified, just that it exists. So I thought that was worth mentioning. So it's good to know that stealth players do get some kind of reward, even though it wasn't made obvious. A lot of this ties to the results screen just not being up to snuff, so they're definitely going to look at that down the line. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of breath. That was a lot of stuff to read out. 2 full pages of what I think are very, very interesting feedback notes. As I said yesterday, if I think there's enough for a video, I will make it. And genuinely, once we got to about this point in the notes, I was like, yeah, there's going to be a video. And then it just kept going. So thank you all very much for watching this video. If you've enjoyed the feedback and you want to see more, please do let me know. I want to do more Payday 3 gameplay-specific videos and build videos, but right now I think focusing on this stuff is what matters. So let me know what you guys prefer. If you'd like me to still do build videos, things like that, do tell me, but they will be coming either way. It's just a matter of when. In fact, much like what Mio said, it's a question of priority. What do you guys want me to prioritize for Payday 3 content? Let me know. If you've enjoyed the video, click like to show me you've enjoyed it, and hit that subscribe button if you're new to stay up to date with all future Payday 3 news. I'll see you on Twitch in probably about an hour's time, and apart from that, I'll see you soon with new videos. Much love, thanks for watching, see you all soon, take it easy.